That's about it though. Before recording this video, while I was taking a shit, I did see this tweet, which I think fits the theme because this is a shit ass tweet. I don't know how big the stick up my ass was while I was recording that review, but as you can tell, I'm pretty much unhappy throughout it, probably because I'm writing an essay at the moment. But I'm recording this mid-edit just to throw in the fact that I jinxed myself last review about how I've only been doing positive reviews and that I'll do a negative one eventually, and here we are, doing a negative one. That's it though, back to the video. I didn't really plan on making a Halloween video at all, to be honest, because I didn't really think I had much to say. And then after I decided I wasn't going to, I planned a different video to make. But then that video ended up taking a lot longer to make, and it's not even done, or I haven't even started it yet. And then while scrolling through Twitter, I realized I really could just make a Halloween video and make it like 3 or 4 minutes. So for the sake of getting back to this homework that I'm procrastinating on, let me try to get my points out pretty quick on why I felt a little iffy about it. After sitting with it, I think my opinion of it fell down a bit. I actually expected to feel a little bit better about it after, giving it a day or two, but I don't know, it just seems really hard for me to put how I feel about it, because I definitely don't hate it, but I most definitely didn't really love it or like it at all. And I'm tempted to say the movie was just fine for what it was, honestly. If you go in and just ignore the story, the kills are gory and they're cool and they're visceral and, adjectives. So I don't really see anybody being disappointed with the kills at all. And honestly, Michael Myers kind of carries this movie on his back pretty much, because the characters this time around seem more dull. Well, not dull, but they just seem uninteresting. In the last movie, Laurie Strode and Michael Myers pretty much also carried that movie on their back, even though that movie was put together a little nicer and the plot was more concise. I'm not going to spoil anything about the movie, but she's not really given much to do in the story, in my opinion. Like, she's kind of put off to the side in favor of other characters, which is fine if the characters could carry the movie themselves, which they can't. So it just feels like wasted potential to have her in the movie, but not in the movie. And let's not pretend at all that the last movie wasn't a little dumb. Like, there was dumb stuff in the movie, but it was forgivable because overall it was a good movie. For every dumb doctor scene, there was another good scene of Laurie Strode or Michael Myers doing killing shit or something, or Laurie Strode's granddaughter, who wasn't that good of a character in that movie, but you could see potential, so it was fine. I can't remember her granddaughter's name, so I'm just going to keep calling her Laurie's granddaughter. But in this movie, she's not really given much. She's given a lot to do. I don't want to say she's not given anything to do, but it feels like she's given busy tasks until the end of the movie. Like, she's with these people for a bit, and then she's over there for a bit, but she's never really doing anything. Like, if you cut out all of her scenes from the movie and then only have those last few scenes at the end, there's pretty much no difference. Like, all that you'll be missing is, oh, how did she get from there to there? And that's about it. And I feel like that's my biggest problem with this movie, where it feels like we're given a lot of filler, and the only reason those scenes even feel like filler is because they're revolving around characters we just met in this movie, and we're pretty much just waiting for them to die because there's nothing else to them that we care about. Like yeah, they're the younger characters from the older movies grown up, and now they're here to do whatever the fuck they're gonna do, but they don't give you a reason to care about them in this movie. You cared about them in the old movie, but why the fuck are they here in this movie? And I'm not saying it wasn't really cool that we got those characters from the older movies coming back in this movie. Like, in the beginning of the movie, like in the first 30 minutes, I was still on board. But then the longer we spent with them, the more I was like, alright, what are they gonna do though? Alright, this seems lame. Alright, this is super lame. Oh, they're dead. And I feel like if you're gonna give yourself the difficult task of bringing back older characters and not fucking them up, this is the complete wrong way to do it. And one of these characters specifically leads into what I think is probably the dumbest shit in the movie. Light spoilers for this next bit, but I haven't seen the trailer, so I don't know if it's in the trailers, but it's pretty much in the first 15 minutes of the movie, so you won't be that surprised anyway. So one of the characters that comes back from the older movies starts setting up this, like, Michael Strike Force or some shit. To boil it down, basically he's either telling people to go inside and hide, or to join him and they're gonna go hunt down Michael so they can kill him or whatever. And the reason I really hate this is because that plotline sounds like some shit that would be done in the first 10 minutes. Like, it sounds like the cold opening to a scary movie. Like, inconsequential character makes a group to go hunt down the bad guy, and then they get killed, and then the movie starts. Like, that's what it sounds like it should be, but it just keeps going all the way up until the end of the movie, and it's just fucking lame, straight up. Like, it feels really bad to say it like that, but it really is just lame. Like, the whole time watching it in the theater, I watched it with my girlfriend, and I was just thinking, like, man, this is the lamest shit I've ever seen in a horror movie. And honestly, what sucks the most about that is that when those shitty filler scenes are done and you go back to either Michael Myers or Laurie Strode, specifically just Laurie Strode, the movie starts to get pretty good, and then after that we're taken right back to those shitty filler scenes and it drops all the way back down again. And I do get the message behind those scenes that I'm calling filler. Like, there is an overall message there that I'm sure you'll get by the end of the movie because they kind of ham-fist it towards you. And the message that it's trying to give isn't even one I disagree with. The problem is that they just don't do it right. And I don't even think you could have added that message into the movie at all in the first place, because I don't think the movie was built for that message to begin with. The video is slowly losing structure and just becoming a rant review, which I don't feel like making right now because I would want to make a 50-minute rant review. So I'll save that for another time or another topic. It's not just the scenes and characters that have problems, it's the dialogue itself. Like, some of the dialogue borders down to levels of cringe, and other dialogue bits feel like they were meant to feel badass or they were meant to feel like impactful, and they just kind of didn't because they were put into shitty scenes. And that leads to some scenes feeling more goofy than serious when they're supposed to be serious. Overall, for me, I would say this movie just feels like wasted potential. Like, there was ideas there that could have worked if they gave it more time or gave it a little more effort or just something to make them work. But in my opinion, in the state that it is, the movie just isn't very good. Like, it's definitely better than the Rob Zombie Halloweens, but it definitely wasn't as good as the last one by far. And I didn't even talk about how disappointing the ending is, but I'll save that for a spoiler video if I ever make one. I think I'd give this movie a 4 out of 10 overall, but if we're just gonna rate the kills alone, like if everything else that's wrong with the movie didn't exist, it would definitely be about a 7 or an 8, maybe an 8. I'm sitting at an 8. On the flip side of that though, if we're rating the story by itself without the kills, then it's most definitely a 2 out of 10. This was more of a low effort type video just to keep my productivity up so I don't forget that I have a channel for 6 months. Even though my regular videos don't really require that much effort, I still felt like I had to get a video out just because my next one is requiring a little bit of work. Not that much, but enough for me to feel annoyed making it. But I'm sure you don't care about that, so that's been it. See ya.